First question from me, I suppose, Cam, is can you believe it's been 10 years since you won the League Cup with Birmingham City?
Yeah, I mean, obviously time flies. It does seem like yesterday, but looking back at it now, obviously a magnificent achievement for the club, and from a personal perspective, to obviously to be a League Cup win is something that you'll always look back and cherish.
What do you remember of that day then? It's, sold out Wembley, going in as underdogs against an Arsenal side that most people expected to win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just thinking back to the day, we was obviously, like you say, was massive underdogs for the game, but we'd been having quite a relatively good season up until that point, and we'd nicked a couple of results against some of the bigger clubs, and we had a well balanced, well organised team, and obviously we just went out there with the no fear factor and just going in and just a one-off game and anything could happen, that sort of attitude. And obviously, we took the lead for a well worked set piece, I remember, and then we sort of disrupted their rhythm, and I mean they got an equaliser. Van Persie scored a really good volley to equalise, but just the game, we sort of controlled the game quite well. We had quite a few experienced players in around our squad at the time, so it was something that was, I wouldn't say it was comfortable, but it wasn't something where we hung on or we nicked it. We give a good account of ourselves.
Yeah, give us an idea of what it's like then being a part of a day like that. What's going through your head firstly in the build up to the final itself?
Obviously going through your head, you're just sort of thinking as the rounds are progressing, you get into the quarterfinal, semi-final stage, and we had two sort of tough games in those stages, and managed to get through those, and it was just like, wow, we're going to Wembley. It's like something you always dream about, and obviously to get to play in the cup final is everyone's dream. And just for the squad for the week, we was bouncing. We had a game the week before. I think we had Sheffield Wednesday in the cup. I think that was like the fifth round of that. So when we got through that as well, so it was just like we was in pretty good momentum, and just lead up to the game. The gaffer was quite relaxed actually. Obviously Alex McLeish has won silverware and played at the highest level himself before, so he just sort of was trying to send out that message that it was we was going in there just to enjoy it and take it all in sort of thing, but just anything could happen. We was going there with a game plan, and if we stuck to that, then we believed deep down we could really get something, and it turned out what turned out. I mean, obviously managed to beat Arsenal. So
you mentioned the semi-final there. You played in both legs against West Ham. That turnaround must have given you so much confidence to take into the final.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first game down at Upton Park was a really tough game, to be honest with you. West Ham played really well in the night, and they probably could have put the tie to bed there and then, but we managed to hang on and we give ourselves a fighting chance going back up to St Andrews. And I think they took the lead after about 3 or 4 minutes. Carlton Cole scored a goal on the break, and was just like, oh, this is disaster. Like worst start you could possibly get. And then as the game wore on, we got into it slowly but surely, managed to claw a goal back, and then from there on in, we just sort of obviously we had the crowd pat St Andrews, and there's magnificent, there's with us to the last minute, and managed to get ourselves back into the game, and obviously force extra time, and then obviously go on and get the winner. So brilliant feeling. Obviously crazy game, topsy-turvy game, but obviously we come out winners in the end.
And just going back to the fans, did you know then just how much it meant to them? Because it was obviously the club's first trophy in such a long time.
Yeah, obviously the team down the road have obviously had success in the European Cup and done well in the League Cup and stuff like that. So they've been the most successful team in sort of the Midlands. But obviously up in that point, Birmingham had not obviously won a major trophy, and it was I think that they got to the final and lost at Cardiff. They lost to at the old Millennium Stadium. So yeah, they'd got near before, but obviously not managed to get their hands on it. So obviously it was such a big thing for the club, and obviously with us being in the Premier League at the time as well, it was something that we thought we would then push on and obviously try and propel the club a little bit further on, but obviously that wasn't to be. But nevertheless, obviously winning the trophy, with the teams that are out there at this day and age, is obviously a remarkable achievement for a club like Birmingham.
What did you do with your winners' medal then? Have you still got it at home?
Yeah, I've still got it somewhere. Sort of, a few other cherished football memorabilia bits what I've collected throughout the years. But yeah, it's obviously something you look back on, and when you look at it, obviously it gives you that little bit of a warm glow inside and that sense of pride, and like you've achieved something. So it's, obviously it's really nice to win a bit of silver in your career. Not a lot of players, you see so many good players, throughout their careers not actually winning trophies. So yeah, you can look back at it and be proud.
Just talk to us about Ben Foster's performance, because he was brilliant that day in the final, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ben was he was magnificent that whole season. To be honest with you, you know, he'd come to us, and obviously he had quite, I wouldn't say big shoes to fill, but obviously Joe Hart was the loan the year before, so obviously Joe came and he, you know, had a magnificent year, and you know, obviously went back to City and was playing there and was England #1. So obviously, with Ben coming in, I wouldn't say there's pressure, but there was maybe expectations to live up to. But obviously, Ben's a quality goalkeeper in his own right, and obviously, you know, obviously England international, and obviously played his trade in the career, you know, in the Premier League throughout his career. So yeah, it was looking back at the days, he'd made 2 or 3 really good saves, and you know, obviously his all round performance and game, and you know, authority in the way he commanded the box, and you know, his handling and things like that. It was, you know, you're going to need big performances from most parts of your team, and obviously the back 4 defended really good, and you know, we rode our luck at times, like I said, but yeah, Fozzie definitely was a key standout performer that day.
I know he's described that day as probably the standout moment of his career. So where does it rank for you? I presume it's right up there, is it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's no bigger sort of moment than playing in a cup final and winning a cup final at Wembley. So you know, like I said, growing up as a boy, you always dream about things like that, and it's something you can, you know, when you've retired, you can look back on and tell your kids and your grandkids, you know, whenever there's a football game on or there's a cup final, that you know, your dad or your granddad managed to get his hands on that trophy. So yeah, it's something like you'll always look back up with immense pride.